Alright you guys, we have a lot of tea to spill today. Today we are going to be talking all about Imagine Music Festival 2019, you guys. It was my first time attending this festival. As you can tell by my voice, I had a good ass time. No, but seriously, it's a couple days out from the event. I'm like just starting to get over the sickness that I got, and all my vlogs are up. I hope you guys enjoyed the videos that I posted. And I also did a sort of like a recap, and I also just talked about some of the friends that I made at Imagine and what it's like to put yourself like out of your comfort zone and attend a festival with new friends on my episode of Rave Culture podcast. It's my weekly podcast. It comes out on Wednesday. So that's all the content for me that's like out right now about Imagine. But I did want to sit down and do like a fully dedicated festival review because I feel like there's a lot to cover about this festival and there isn't that much coverage out there on YouTube. And I just like, I've kind of hinted at a couple things that have happened, and I would just love to like sit down and explain it to you guys like one-on-one. And especially for those of you who have never been and you're planning on going next year, I just want to let you guys know what the experience is like, my pros and cons list, some things they could improve, my top highlights, because there were a lot. So that is the gist of this video. I'm just gonna jump right into this, but I did have one disclaimer to say before we start this video, because the first vlog that I posted had a little bit of a clickbaity title. Lesson learned, maybe shouldn't do that in the future. I ended up changing it, but I think it rubbed people the wrong way, maybe a little bit, or they felt that it was a little misleading. Basically, I titled it, "We Got Scammed at Imagine Music Festival," which we kind of did, but anyway, I changed it to, "Did we get scammed?" After some constructive feedback, which I appreciate from you guys. I'm always down for some like constructive feedback. But I got a little heat from that video because there were some things surrounding this festival that kind of set people off online leading up to the festival and during the festival. So I kind of want to get a little bit into that before we get started. The main thing I do when I do these vlogs and I do these reviews is like, I attack this as like a fan, right? I want to show you guys what the experience is like as much as I can. And then I also want to let you know like some of the things that happened. And I think it's only fair, you know, festivals come in all different sizes, right? We've got like the major ones like EDC Las Vegas and Ultra and Tomorrowland. And then we have more smaller scale events and some in-betweeners. So, you know, they can't all be treated equally, but they all have room to improve. No festival's perfect, right? I feel like the companies can gain from getting feedback from their fans so they can improve in future years, and they can also hear what they did right and what they nailed so that it can just be the best festival going experience for everyone. So it's my job to treat every festival fairly. So with all of that being said, let's get into the review here. To kick it off, how I came to know about Imagine. Basically, I had never heard of this festival, and if it crossed my radar, I didn't really remember it. I'm from New Jersey, so it's not a local festival for me, and it's not like, it's probably on a smaller scale. There were 4 stages, so it's not, you know, anything like as massive as, again, like an EDC or an Ultra, but it's in Atlanta, Georgia. It's a little bit outside of the city of Atlanta. It's not like actually in Atlanta. I think it was in Hampton, Georgia. Yeah. So I had somebody from the Imagine team DM me on Instagram just asking if I wanted to attend the festival and basically promote them through a few posts, and I would get a VIP pass in exchange for the posts. So I was like, this is really, really interesting. Let me think about this. You know, can I do it? There were a couple things going on, but I talked to my friend Vibe with Aid here on YouTube, and she said she also got that message. And at first I was like, you know, do I want to go to a festival without my Rave family? Like, I just was nervous to go to one alone. And then once I knew she was going, and then she said some other content creators were going, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm gonna just attend it with them, and I'm gonna go make new friends and meet new people. And let me just tell you, spoiler alert, it was the best decision I ever made. I'm so, so happy. I went and I met Aid, and I got to meet the most incredible people, but we'll get into that in a second. So anyway, made those plans. She decided to book a hotel that was basically, it was directly next door to one of the hotels on the shuttle line. So if you guys didn't know, Imagine has camping as an option, but you can also do like hotels in the area. We were about 20 minutes away. The shuttle was like not a big deal at all. So, and it wasn't that expensive. So we ended up doing a hotel. It was the Quality Inn in McDonough. It was great. We could like walk to food and everything. And yeah, and then we took the shuttle lines to the festival. And I think my flight to Atlanta wasn't that bad. It was like 2 something. So all of these plans sort of came together and I was like, this is gonna be a fun ass weekend. I decided to go Friday to Monday because I didn't have too many vacation days left. And again, like this was a last minute kind of decision for me. So I normally don't like flying the day of a festival. I like to come the day before, but nevertheless, that is the plans that we had decided on. So then next up, so one thing I wanted to mention, I did have somebody say, because you went as like an influencer and you know, you're more privileged that way, you should sort of just like take your free ticket and shut up kind of thing, like you're just there to film the festival and have fun, which I don't really agree with. I don't even like the term influencer, to be honest with you. I don't even like feel like that's what I am, but anyway, this was my first time ever attending a festival, like given a ticket in exchange for posts. So like this was a completely new experience for me. I didn't really know how to navigate this, but just to like let you guys know like what happens on the back end, I, you know, got that initial DM, then I was sent a contract. I read through the whole contract and it basically, I think it said like for like a post, in exchange for a post or 2 posts, something like that. It was very general, signed it, good. I didn't hear back from a couple of days and I really wanted to announce to you guys that I was attending it, and I was waiting till they were like, we confirmed your contract, before I told everybody, but it took a couple days, so I ended up telling you guys anyway, and luckily they approved the contract and I was like, oh, thank God. Then the next stage, I ended up hearing from a different representative, basically letting me know, hey, I'm your new representative, it's not the other person, and did you hear about the posting schedule? And I was like, no, I didn't hear about the posting schedule, but I already signed a contract. So anyway, the posting schedule comes through and it's like a list of things that I need to do for the pass, which again was not agreed upon before I signed the contract. It wasn't anything crazy, and again, it was in exchange for a VIP pass, so I was like, sure, whatever, no problem, like I'm happy to do it. But I just thought that was a little weird. I feel like you should probably agree to like the schedule before you sign a contract. Again, no issues, who knows what was happening on their end, it's totally fine. In the next stage, it got a little closer to the festival, and I had seen comments on Reddit, like of course I research a festival before I go, and I was reading a lot of comments basically saying that the festival sometimes like deletes people's negative comments on Facebook, so the Reddit group is like way more honest, and like there's more threads on there that they cannot monitor. So I think that's very interesting. And there were just comments on Reddit, just like, of course, like talking about the issues that they had in the previous year, and the constant theme I saw was about communication. I just heard like communication isn't really good. They switch things up on you. They say one thing and they do another thing. So like all of this is like in my head, and I'm like, okay, you know, I'm just pocketing that in my head. Then it's coming up to the festival and they, you know, were chalking up this huge announcement, right? They were gonna drop like stage 2 of the lineup. It was this huge thing. And the first thing they announced is that they're adding a 4th day to the festival. So now it's gonna be Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And people, I think rightfully so, flipped out because all of our stuff is booked. I mean, our hotels are booked, our flights are booked. They announced this in like July, and the festival was in like mid-September. So it felt very late. I personally have never dealt with a festival just adding a day out of nowhere like that. So it was weird for me. I immediately contacted Aid and was like, what do we do? Like, we can't go Thursday now. And we just decided to keep our plans the way they were. But just so you guys know, on the back end as an influencer, we were not told in advance, like none of that. So that kind of bothered me a little bit. And then I think something happened weird. It was like, you have up until August 15th to buy your festival pass, and if you buy a 3-day pass, it will include the 4th day like for free. So whatever. And I'm pretty sure something weird happened with the campers, like if they were camping, they had to like pay for the extra day. I don't know, you know, you can go read on Reddit, but there was a lot happening. I think some people weren't thrilled with the additional people added to the lineup. I didn't really have a problem. This lineup wasn't my favorite in general. Like, there have been way better lineups out there, but it was plenty of people I wanted to see to fill a weekend for sure. The sets were incredible. So then we get there, everything's good. I finally met Aid. It was the best feeling ever. I feel like I've known her forever. It was crazy. And then I got to meet her boyfriend Ryan, who was wonderful, and then Taylor Bruno, at Taylor S. Bruno on Instagram. Literal rave baby, I love her so much. It ended up being the best thing ever, and I'm so happy I went like out of my comfort zone and attended this festival with people I had just met online. I didn't even know Taylor. Aid knew Taylor, but it ended up being the perfect combination. So anyway, the morning of Friday, we got an email from our representative basically being like, yesterday was a shit show at the will call because they invited so many influencers, and they were like, getting passes was like a really long wait, so you guys have to go to the credentials office. We had no idea where the credentials office was. You know, we've never been to this festival. So we ended up doing the shuttle. Again, shuttles ran very smooth. We got dropped off at the shuttle entrance, which was different than the main entrance. And when we got there, there was like a will call booth there, and it had a really long line. And we got there early. Like I think we left around like 5 something to leave plenty of room. And somebody told us, no, you have to go to the credentials office. It's like all the fucking way around. So we ended up walking about 20 minutes to find the credentials office. Now there were golf carts, like people on golf carts going back and forth. We only saw like 2, and none of them stopped for us because we were trying to flag people down to give us a ride because we were like huffing and puffing. And that's where I met Corey Owl Eyes from Instagram. I met her, and her boyfriend like walked with us. So we get to the credentials office. It was another like 45-minute wait, and the representative that we had just like understandably like was not in the best mood, did not have the best attitude. I was not really thrilled, and it was taking like an ungodly amount of time to get these passes. Like I have gotten will call passes at Electric Zoo. I've done it at Ever After. I had to get a media pass, and it's usually they look up your name and you get your pass and you go. I had never waited this long. It just seemed like the whole thing was disorganized. The room felt very tense. I have video clips of it. So anyway, we finally get to the front of the line, and the guy found our names like immediately, and then we literally were standing there for another like 20-25 minutes, and I have no idea what he was doing and what was possibly taking that long. At the very end, you know, and the line behind us just starts like growing and growing and growing. So we got there at the perfect time. Like we would have been screwed if we were behind us. And then all of a sudden he's like, okay, there's a $50 mandatory fee for anyone on the guest list. It's for charity. It's like for the hurricane. And we all like looked at each other and we were like, what? Again, I'm not gonna say no to a charity donation. Also, we've been standing here forever. We kind of feel like we don't have an option to say no because we just want our passes at this point. So we all said yes. I was like, what the fuck was that? That wasn't in any of our contracts, like nothing. Meanwhile, a person to the left of us opened up a line and started taking people, and like 2 of our friends were taken in the time that we were still standing in our line. So I'm just telling you guys all the story because a lot of people were like, how did you get scammed? What happened? We like had a really bad taste in our mouth going into the festival. We get out of the credentials office finally. The sun is setting. We've been doing this whole thing for fucking almost 2 hours, and luckily we flagged down a golf cart, and these guys took us all the way back, like shoved the 4 of us in their cart. So we were very thankful for them. We found out that our friends who were behind us online, no one else was charged this $50 fee. We have no idea where it came from. I'm talking to my rep right now. They have been great. My rep was wonderful. They are very apologetic. They said it was uncalled for. They don't know why they did that to us, and we're gonna try and get our money back. So I still have not been refunded. I'm looped into a conversation to get refunded. It sucked. I wasn't thrilled with the guy that we had checking us in. Hopefully they can improve that experience. Had I just bought a ticket and just gotten GA or a VIP pass and was not a part of the influencer program, I would have had no problem at all. So it kind of goes to show you it's not really like a privilege sometimes. But again, I absolutely do not want to come off like I'm complaining, guys. I got a free pass. The rest of the weekend was fucking wonderful, but that is how our Friday started out. And as you can see from all of the other things I had heard about the festival leading up to it, in my head I'm like, is this a scam? Like, is this like not operated properly? I just didn't know. So then we get into the festival, absolutely no wait on the security line. It's at the shuttle stop. It was perfect all of the nights. It was so great. Walk in, it gave me EDC vibes because it's in a raceway, and you like walk down the bleachers, and the Disco Inferno stage is right in front of you. To the right is the Tech Yes stage and the Amazonia stage, and then to the left is the Six Feather stage and Oceana, the main stage. So the first thing we did was we went to go find our lockers. Now the lockers were marked on the map. We go over to the area, they are nowhere to be seen, and we're like, what the fuck? So we walk around for like 15 minutes all over the fucking festival, cannot find them anywhere. We're asking staff members, no one knows where they are. So at this point we're like, are we getting scammed again? Did the lockers not exist? Because I'm gonna be fucking pissed. And then finally we find them all the way in the corner by main stage, and we asked the people who worked at the locker thing, and they were like, oh my God, it was a hassle to even get here today. This thing hasn't been organized. Like, yes, they moved us. They didn't communicate it to any of the fans coming. So even they said it was like a mess on their end. So whatever. The last thing, just to end off the cons, I swear I'm done after this. One of my subscribers who came to the meetup on Saturday told us that she also had a really, really bad experience getting her pass. I guess she showed up on Thursday and was one of the people who purchased like a 3-day pass before August 15th, and you got the 4th day included. And she said when she went up to the front desk and told them that, the woman was like, oh no, I made that flyer, like the cutoff was July 15th, you bought it after the fact. And her boyfriend were like, absolutely not, it was August 15th, we should get the 4th day for free. And she was like, nope, no. She said, like, she basically laughed in her face and was like, nope, the cutoff was July 15th. And her boyfriend ended up pulling up the flyer and it was August 15th. So, you know, with all of this being said, all I will say is that the festival could improve their customer service, they could improve their will call pickups, and, you know, I completely understand people being like overwhelmed and having huge wait lines and things like that. I just think the employees could have been a little bit friendlier and more understanding. That would have made the experience much better. So that is all I'm gonna say on that. Everything else went smoothly, and now I'm gonna get into how the rest of the weekend went, you guys. From then on, we just turned our night around, and Friday was so fun. We didn't really have anyone we were like dying to see besides like Rez, but we saw Kids, Sudden Death, Rez, Dr. Fresh, who was my favorite of the entire night. I had never seen him. I will say the stage production was way better than I thought it was gonna be. The lasers on main stage were so fucking good. I was shocked. I really, really liked it. I didn't go to the Sixth Feather stage, really. I walked by it. I was actually online for the porta potties and heard Darude playing Sandstorm because Darude was playing, so that was a moment. Disco Inferno ended up being my favorite stage, which when I first saw it, I think I was underwhelmed because it wasn't anything crazy, you know, it wasn't like a huge stage or anything, but the pyro at night and just the overall vibe at that stage, I loved. We spent a lot of time there. We went to the Tech Yes stage once on Friday. Such a good time. It was really, really fun. It just was sort of like open on the grass, like not that crowded. I didn't go to the Amazonia stage once. It was really far walk, like all the way to the back, and that's where like all the bass music was, so I just didn't go there. Some things that they did well. I really liked the food and shopping vendors that they had. I thought that they did a good job. There was sort of like a walkway right up the middle and over towards main stage. They had a lot of great options, and I actually did some shopping at this festival, so I really liked that. I felt like there was a lot of room at this festival. Like, some people were messaging me being like, it doesn't look that crowded. It kind of was nice. There was just like a lot of room at the stages, and like at no point was I shoved or anything. I wasn't like packed in like a sardine. We were shuffling like crazy. This is probably the most I've ever shuffled at a festival. So I just thought that was great. I think there was a lot of space at this festival, which was awesome. My favorite part of the festival was the people. Hands down, the people were incredible. I met probably the most people I've ever met at a festival, just like talking wise. Like, I was with Aid, Ryan, and Taylor, but on Saturday in particular, we were just feeling different vibes. They wanted to go to the Amazonia stage, and I wanted to stay at Disco Inferno for Lane 8. By the way, 7 Lions and Lane 8, my favorite sets of the weekend. So I ended up staying with my friend Tom from the Lunchbox, and he was with the whole group, so I met all of them. And I just felt like it was the first time I was like on my own, and I was floating from group to group. And I just encourage you guys to do that, especially if you want to see an artist in particular. You know, you can split up from your group. Cell phone service was great at this festival. I found them no problem every time. We got separated and we got back together. I went to the bathrooms by myself and came back, and we all know I get lost in the bathrooms, no problem. So that was great. The size of this festival was really, really nice. If you are a first timer, this would be a great first festival because like it's not that big. Like I said, you can easily find people, but it's still like enough going on. The production is good. There's some fun things to interact with. The art installations were really cool. They had a couple things going on. They had artists doing live paintings there. They had this huge pyramid thing. Like, they had a bunch going on, so I liked that aspect. And there was grass to sit down. So I actually did sit down a couple times, and we just hung out and we ate and we drank. So all of that was really nice. They did have water refill stations. I'd say that's more, I don't know if it's a con, it's kind of in the middle. Like the water refill stations themselves weren't that big, so sometimes the lines got really long, but they did have a nice amount of them. Bar wise, that was good. A huge pro were the beatbox beverages. You guys, I had never had these before. It was like a box like this big, and it was 11% alcohol, and I don't know if it's like a rum or vodka drink, but oh my god, 2 of those, I was like floored. So that was our favorite thing like all weekend. Like I didn't need that many, and they sold out of them by Sunday. That's how popular they were. But we had VIP, so in the VIP tent they still had them. So we went and we bought a beatbox and we like shoved it in our lunch box and saved it for later. So drinks were really good. VIP experience, to be honest with you, I kind of like can't give a full review because I feel like we didn't really use it that much, and so I don't know if it's worth it. It's not like an EDC Las Vegas VIP where it's like multiple VIP areas and there's a ton going on. They had a big one off to the left of main stage. That was the only one I went into. They had trailer bathrooms, which were really nice, and they had stuff in there like braiding and a beauty bar and like shops and stuff. Honestly, the lines in the VIP bathrooms are really long. I waited on all of them, and I ended up going in the porta potties in the VIP section just to like avoid the lines for the trailer bathrooms. I think there was a VIP area by Amazonia stage. I didn't go over there, so I don't know. I don't know if VIP would be totally worth it for this festival. I think you kind of would be totally fine in GA. What else, guys? What else? The sets. The music was awesome. Like I said, the lineup was kind of I didn't really like go to too many of the stages. I stayed at the 2 the entire time, but the sets that I did see were fucking so good. The Dirty Word Takeover on Sunday, 7 Lions, Anna Leno, Wax Motif, Lane 8, Rez, Kid, like, ooh, all so awesome. Dr. Fresh. And again, I just was so grateful to meet the people that I met, and so many people were just like welcoming. There was no attitude, there was no fighting that I saw. One of the best crowds I've ever been a part of. So like hands off to you, Imagine, for creating that environment. And you know, the meetups were great. Thank you guys to everyone who came out. I got the most incredible pearlers this trip. I'll try and put clips in here. I got a huge Rez, like the hand logo. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. It's so crazy. Somebody made me a Rave Culture podcast pearler, which like I died. Like Rave Culture is like my baby. I love it so much. Just the fact that someone made that was like the best thing ever. And then Aid, during Above and Beyond set, Aid traded me an Above and Beyond pearler that she specially made me, and it was like the most thoughtful thing ever, and it was such a moment. Anyway, the memories made this weekend will never be forgotten. I truly like had the most incredible time. One other thing I'll say, guys, as far as like timing of this festival, I like the timing. At first I was like 5 p.m. to 3 a.m. That's a really long time. But one, I liked that it wasn't a day festival because it was hot as hell. The weather was beautiful. It was perfect at night, but in like the 2 hours that it was sunny, your girl was melting. But 3 a.m. was late. It was late. I kind of liked that Sunday ended at midnight. We were like ready to get out of there on Sunday. So the timing, everything was really well done. Oh, 2 other things I have to shout out. One, Festy Bestie. Festy Bestie is a really, really cool rave clothing company that Aid introduced me to. The owner, Paige, she was such a sweetheart, and her husband was awesome. And I actually bought an outfit from there that I'm gonna wear to EDC Orlando that I'm so excited about. So get pumped for that. Another cool moment, I went to get lemonade during, I think it was Lane 8's set, and I go up to the lemonade and this guy next to me goes, "Are you Emma Kapotes?" And I was like, "Yeah, I am." And he said, "I have been waiting to give you this since EDC Las Vegas." And he trades me a candy that says Emma Kapotes on it, and I was like, mind blown. Anytime that happens to me, it like is the most surreal moment ever, because I can't believe that you're walking around with a friggin' candy with my name on it. It just blows my mind, and I was like, this is insane. Like, what are the fucking chances? What are the chances? And he bought my lemonade, and it was such a moment. So thank you for that. I loved it. It was incredible. I live for moments like that. It's the best thing ever. And I just think it was really cool to meet so many people I know online in person, and people that I didn't know, like followed my YouTube channel and stuff. Like, it was so fun. Like meeting Frida and Erica and Lauren Hutzel and Vibrant Vibes and Deepler Princess. There were so many that I follow that I was like, oh my god, this is so weird meeting you in person. So it was really cool. And like, I don't experience things like that because there aren't many like influencers or content creators in New Jersey. So it was a very cool experience getting to meet all these people in person. Anywho, I've talked about this festival for 20 minutes, guys. I hope this is a lengthy enough review, a detailed review. All in all, I would recommend this festival. I had so much fun. If you're local, 1000% recommend it, especially like if it's not that hard for you to get to. If it's your first time, I think it's a perfect first time festival. I just hope that they take our reviews seriously and just work on their communication. You know, you have a festival because of the fans and you want to like have them have the best experience possible. I just, you know, want them to think about that and think about the experience that they're creating and just communicate a little bit better and make decisions a little bit better revolving around the festival. And I'm just honest about it, guys. I'm gonna be blunt, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna film things and make it look like it's the most perfect festival and nothing went wrong. Like, I'm always gonna show you exactly what is happening. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything, and you know, that might rub some people the wrong way, or they might say I'm complaining or I'm privileged, but I just want to give you an accurate representation of like what happened and what my experiences were like. So always know that I'm gonna tell you guys the truth and I'm gonna keep it real, keeping it 100 with you all the time. But it was great. I loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed the vlogs. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end here. If you're still here, please leave the little salsa dancer in the comments and let me know you're a real one. You stuck around till the end. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I will see you at my next festival, at my last festival for 2019, which is EDC Orlando. Details to come about meetups and all that fun stuff. So see you in my next video. Bye, guys.